Welcome back to another episode. So this week you can see on the right, here's all the content that we have and all the manufacturers that have made the news cut. So we've got Tesla, Zeekr, Porsche, BYD, Smart, Rolls-Royce and Cupra. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so first things first, all charging related, and it is a massive news. So this is to do with Evie, EVIE, and you can see here, supercharge your EV with zero drama. So what that means is the Tesla charging experience is finally here, guys. And you know that I've been telling you guys how good and seamless the Tesla charging experience is. All you have to do, because you've got your credit card linked to your account, is plug in your car plug in the charger to the car when you're at the charging stations, and then it charges, and when you're done, you stop it, it bills you, done. There's no need to get another physical card, an app, anything like that. It's all done. It's very seamless. It's transparent. You get the invoice and all of that. So fantastic. Now Evie seems to have done this now too. So what you can see there, no pre-authorization holds or additional fees on compatible auto chargers. Now for context, if you guys aren't aware, at the moment they do have pre-authorization hold for $50. So I know they've started to try to make that a bit clearer in their T's and C's, but for the non-auto chargers, if you are using EV charger, it does actually charge you $50. You can also see here, no need to tap an app, push a button. So again, very seamless, like the Tesla experience that I've mentioned. No delays, charging starts seconds after you plug it in. Now in terms of how it works, so I'll put a little snippet there from the FAQs. So it's saying that it uses a MAC address of the vehicle to identify, and once recognized, it starts charging automatically on network. What that means though is that because it's per account, you can only set that up once per car per account. So if you've got multiple cars at this point in time, it's not going to be compatible. So baby steps, at least I've got it for one car at this point in time, so that's fantastic news to see. And then on the bottom right there, it says to check if it's compatible. Once you add your vehicle in, you'll be able to see in the vehicle's app profile whether or not it is compatible or not. But there are quite a few incompatible vehicles that you see there as well. Mazda, Volkswagen Group, so it's not just Volkswagen Group. So that includes VW Seat, Cupra Skoda, and also the BMW i7. So look, regardless, the fact is they've spent a lot of effort to get this to work. There are still a lot of EVs that can absolutely work with this, so it's really good to see. So kudos to you guys, Evie. It's great to see that you guys are mimicking or starting to work towards that really seamless experience, because it is pretty frustrating having to set up multiple accounts, go to the charger, and then to get that done. So fantastic. And so anyways, in terms of when this was available, so actually it was only available 2 days ago. So it was a small number of EV customers that got this 2 days ago, and then for everyone else, it says stay tuned, you'll get it soon, most likely sometime in August, I believe. So hopefully not too far away, and then you guys should be able to get it soon. Alright, Porsche Macan. So you guys know that this is the new one that's coming to Australia very soon. It's going to be the 2025 model. Obviously by the time it gets here, it is going to be all EV. So they have totally called off any ICE variation on the Porsche Macan, and it is absolutely going to be all EV. So they've also basically introduced a new variant. So it's still $33,000 dearer than the previous X model. But you can see that there is now two different ranges that you've got there. So in total, you've got the base Macan, you've got the Macan 4, 4S, and then Macan Turbo. So basically, the rear-wheel drive entry level, they've just called it the Macan now. And then they've also introduced sort of like a mid-spec, the 4S, which is essentially, from what I've read, that seems to be the most bang for buck one, where you get a lot of the technology and you also get a decent motor in there too. So when is it due? So first half of 2025 is essentially when the Macan base and 4S are due, and then the 4 and Turbo will commence deliveries by the end of this year, is what they're saying. So yeah, in terms of how much power, so the Macan is basically the Macan 4 without the front motors. So it's just a rear motor, and so the stats that I've put here on the screen are essentially with overboost. So all of the vehicles do have a overboost function, which essentially means, you know, for a certain time, probably usually about 10 seconds or so, you can get that extra power boost. So basically I've just put the figures here of the highest that you can see there with overboost, and look, the figures are pretty impressive. So, you know, the top spec there, 470 kilowatts, 1130 Newton meters of torque. That is absolutely massive. And whilst the 0 to 100 time is 3.3, if you compare that to the base spec, 265 kilowatts, it's 5.7. So it's yeah, quite a significant difference there. I mean, there's also a significant difference, but in terms of torque, if you look at that, you know, you're getting towards almost that double mark. So quite amazing, and it's definitely going to be something to look out for when it hits the roads over here. Okay, the Cupra Tavascan. So another week, and it's funny, you guys are going to get used to hearing this. Another week, another Model Y competitor, and it's coming soon. It's coming to Australia. So guys, this is the Cupra Tavascan. It's got a range of up to 534 kilometers. It is due in early December 2024, which essentially means it's probably like 5 months away. And so Cupra executives indicated to Australian media that the Tavascan, so there's two specs that we're going to get. It's the Endurance and the VZ. So it would cost more than the current Formentor VZ and VZX. So the Formentor essentially has two specs, the VZ and the VZX. Now it's 61,490 for the VZ and 70,790 for the VZX. So what they're essentially saying is the base model for the Tavascan is essentially going to be more than 61,500 thereabouts, and about $71,000. It's going to be more than that. So I would say 65 to 70,000, probably 75 to 80,000 potentially. Either way, they have said it's going to be more than that. And for the two variants, it is going to have this 77 kilowatt hour battery. In terms of some of the specs that we know of, so the endurance spec, or the entry level spec, is 210 kilowatts, 545 Newton meters of torque. It is rear drive, as I said, 534 kilometers range, and 0 to 100 time of 6.8 seconds. The VZ, which is about 250 kilowatts, 545 Newton meters of torque, so the same torque. It's got about 499 kilometers of range, 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds. In terms of charging, you've got 11 kilowatt AC charging and up to 135 kilowatt DC charging. So on the DC charging side, it's not extremely fast, but it does support your usual three-phase AC charging at 11 kilowatts, so that's fantastic to see. So yeah, what do you guys think? I think it's going to have poor visibility, just like the Model Y at the rear. I like the shape. I love like the rose gold accents all over the car. It looks absolutely amazing. And on the bottom over here, the seat over here, that I think looks superb. So Cupra, I'll be in touch. We definitely want to check it out when the car comes. Alright, BYD Sea Lion 7. Now, I haven't actually covered this before, but there were mentions that it is coming down under. And guess what? What you guys see here, wrapped in black, it is being spied already on Australian roads. So I'm not too sure if you guys can see down over here, but this is essentially Victorian registration plates. So this is essentially a prototype, I believe, or one that's potentially coming down. Either way, it's been camouflaged or in a black wrap, and it's been parked outside a McDonald's wearing Victorian registration plates. So kudos to whoever did capture that picture. I couldn't seem to find where that came from. But anyways, onto battery size. So it looks like it'll come here in two sizes. So in terms of battery size, you've got a 71.8 kilowatt hour battery pack and an 80.64 kilowatt hour battery pack. In China, there are 3 powertrains offered, 2 rear-wheel drive grades with 170 kilowatts and 230 kilowatts respectively, and the flagship dual motor performance offering 390 kilowatts, which I presume is probably the same as the BYD Seal. So yeah, look, that's all the information we have at the moment. What do you guys think when you look at the car? For me in particular, when I look at the rear quarter panel over here, this really resembles, in my eyes, the Porsche Macan. When I look at these wheels here, I immediately think of Lamborghini wheels. Keen to hear what you guys think, but yeah, that's just my thoughts, and let's move on to the next item. Alright, smart electric SUVs, the number 1 and the number 3. So I covered this off a couple of weeks ago, and now we've got additional information or confirmed pricing for what they are. So there's 3 variations between each one. So I've taken this off the Car Expert website. So the number 1, you've got the Pro Plus, Premium and Brabus editions, which is all the prices that you see over there. So $67,900 for the most expensive one. And then you've got the number 3, which also goes from $57,900 to about $70,900. Now, in terms of sizes, so the smart number 1 is about 4.4 meters long, and the smart number 3, the smart number 3 is the larger one at 4.4, and the smart number 1 is 4.27. So they've got similar drivetrains. They do share the same platform as the Volvo EX30, 66 kilowatt hour battery. The Pro and Premium, which is the top 2 that you see of each section, they've got 200 kilowatt rear drive motors with 343 newton meters of torque. The Brabus has 315 kilowatts and 543 newton meters of torque. So they are confirmed to have NMC battery chemistry, which essentially means you should be charging most of the time to 80% unless you need it more. And it is coming to Australia, or coming down under, September 2024. So it's pretty much, we're heading towards the end of July. We're just past the midpoint, so it's probably about 2.5 months away. So fantastic to see. Alright, now this is not necessarily Tesla news about a new vehicle, but the previous shape, the non-Tesla Model 3 Highland versions, there is a recall. Now, when I say recall, people usually freak out. Software update is, I guess, the reality. So you can see over here, there's 331 affected units between 2019 to 2020. It is essentially saying that the issue with a driver seat occupancy switch, the instrument cluster may fail to illuminate the visual and audible seatbelt warnings in certain conditions as required by ADR. So, i.e. what that means is, if the driver is not made aware of unfastened seatbelt, there's an increased risk of injury or death in case the vehicle was involved in an accident. So basically all you have to do is check with software. If vehicle is operating with software version 2024.20.3 or newer, no further action is necessary. There is a link that I will put as a part of the description, just so you guys can click on it. That actually gives you the list of all 331 VIN numbers. So just do a search, make sure that you're not on there. If you are, check your software, and then you're all good. So there you go. Alright, Rolls-Royce Spectre. You may or may not know, Rolls-Royce has an EV, full EV, and it's called the Spectre. And the reason why I've got this on the news is because there is already one for sale, which is used. So Roscoe from Amazing EV. Now, if you guys don't know Roscoe or don't know Amazing EV, it is a EV marketplace for Australians to sell their cars. So he's actually gone and done a walkthrough of said car. So if you guys want to check it out, jump onto his YouTube channel. Again, I'll put the link in the description as well, and have a look at that. I think it looks absolutely amazing, and obviously very expensive too, because you can see there, just under $1.3 million. That's no pocket change for sure. That's literally a house, multiple houses depending on where you're looking at. But it is beautifully spec'd car. That orange is, yeah, I think it looks fantastic. There's not much more to say. So yeah, if you guys want to actually see the car itself, or if you're interested in buying it, I'll put the link below. Totally not sponsored by Amazing EV, but I think it's absolutely worthwhile having a look at the car. It looks amazing. It just really gives you guys the full view into what a full custom car is and the luxury side of it. So yeah. Alright, Zeekr X. You guys know that there has been one spied in Sydney, in New South Wales, Australia, testing or doing something, and it's definitely coming close soon. So there's been ADR publication, basically government homologation documents, and they reveal essentially more information. So what we do know now is, based on the two variants, there's obviously a single motor and a dual motor. Now, with regards to the two motors, the single motor will be rolling on 18-inch wheels, and the dual motor will be on 19s. So in terms of being able to tell the differences on the road, 18s or the smaller wheels are essentially single motor, dual motors get the bigger one. How much power do they have? 200 kilowatts, 343 newton meters of torque, and the dual motor has 315 kilowatts and 543 newton meters of torque. 66 kilowatt hour battery with WLTP ranges for single motor 440 Ks and 425 on the dual. And then the last bit to cover off really is DC fast charging at 150 kilowatts, which I guess is acceptable. You've got same suspension on both, 190 millimeters ground clearance, which I think is quite decent, and then big brake kit for dual motor, so fantastic stopping power. That's all we have on that one at the moment. Again, there's still no confirmed pricing, but again, I will keep you guys posted once we find out more. Alright, Tesla in the media for Robotaxi. So as you guys know, the vision for Tesla is to have an autonomous Robotaxi network. So a couple of snippets here from X, or formerly known as Twitter. Basically, originally it was supposed to be revealed on August 8th. You can see down here that Elon has mentioned, requested what I think is an important design change to the front, and allow an extra time allows us to show off a few other things. So on the top right here, they're saying it's been delayed 2 months to October. So I guess I'll keep you posted in October or sometime soon. And the last piece of the news this week, Zeekr 009. I don't know about you guys, but I think this car is wild. It is probably the car that I'm looking forward to most arriving in Australia this year. And the reason why it's here and why it's made the news this week is because right now, as I'm recording, Friday night, there is the official global launch of the 009. So for markets outside of China. But it is for the global launch, and it is happening literally right now. There is a live stream. It's mainly in Mandarin, so I don't understand it, but the launch is literally right now, and some of the key highlights that we can see is there will be a 6 and 7 seat option. So I know a lot of the times we've only heard of the 4 and the 6, but now, and you can see in the picture over here, so this is a 2 plus 2 plus 2, and this one is a 2 plus 2 plus 3. So it does look like, and yes, there will be the 4-seater version too, but I have not included that as a part of the photos here. But the focus really will be 6 and 7 seats. So basically, what we do know so far is there's going to be 2 different battery pack sizes, a 116 kilowatt hour and a 140 kilowatt hour battery pack, and they have CLTC ranges of 702 kilometers and 822 kilometers respectively. Now, I did some googling to try to work out what does CLTC convert to in real world kilometers, and a couple of places were saying take 75% of that figure, and that should be rough real world kilometers. So the conversions then mean with 116 kilowatt hour battery pack at 75%, you're looking at a range of roughly 526.5 kilometers, and then the 140 kilowatt hour battery pack is 616.5 kilometers. Now remember, these are absolutely huge battery packs, 116 and 140. For context, most Teslas, or actually most EVs these days, have roughly 60 to 80 kilowatt hours, so that is absolutely huge. So yeah, anyways, further news on that. So you'll have rear drive, you'll have all drive options. Rear drive, the 2 options are 250 kilowatts or 310. Then the all drive options, you have literally a staggering amount, 450 kilowatts or 580. That's right, nearly 600 kilowatts in all-wheel drive people mover. That's nuts. And let me break it down. I've got the front and the back engine specs too, or front and rear. So with the 450 kilowatt all drive, it's 200 kilowatts at the front, 250 at the rear. The 580 kilowatt is 270 at the front, 310 at the rear. Now, if that does not sound crazy enough for you guys, if we jump back to the Zeekr X and even the EX30 and the smart cars and all of that, those smaller SUVs have a top maximum power of 315 kilowatts. We're seeing the top spec here potentially having 310 just on the rear motor. and then you've got 270 on the front, 580 total. That's mind-blowingly quick. So either way, really excited to see this car. There's not much more I can say. I don't know much more information considering that it's a global launch that's just happened. So yeah, watch this space. And so that's all the information I have, as the launch is literally right now. So I'll have to wait till there's some, I guess, language conversions, or until some media outlets start to post what some of the key differences are, or what the global versions will have. Again, there is a chance that the Australians, when it comes down under, that it might be potentially different. But either way, it's coming this year. It's exciting. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. It seems to be a totally unique market that they're coming into Australia. And the reason why I say that is there's not many EV vans or people movers at the moment. I mean, from the ICE world, you've pretty much got Kia Carnival as the king. Then from the luxury side, you know, you've got imported cars like the Toyota Alphard or Toyota Velfire. You've now got, for your locally sold cars, you've got the Lexus LM, which is like, base model is like $160,000. And then you've got like your Mercedes Vito. From the EV side, you've really only got one car at the moment, off the top of my head, and that is the LDV MIFA 9, and that's about like $120,000. But from what I've seen on videos, those two cars, like, they're very, very different. If you have time, have a look at one of the press videos for the Zeekr 009, and also our friend Ludicrous Feed and Viz, and a couple of other Australian media people were invited, as I mentioned earlier on in a couple of episodes ago, and they got to give you some insights into 009, so it looked fantastic. Anyways, that takes us towards the end of this episode. Not extremely long compared to the other weeks, but still, nonetheless, it is still massive news, and it's been a massive week. So either way, if you guys have tuned through the entire thing, thank you so much for your support. Like and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you soon in the next one.